Alright, so today is 12/15/14 because somebody picked orange.
True.
That's why. And we're going to start to talk about the last two kinds of symbiotic relationships. So, mutualism is for mutual benefit. So this is where two species have a relationship, it's cooperative, both of them benefit. And the classic example that's given is pollinators. I'll shut up and let you copy for a second. Because the date was showing through. Bees and flowering plants are classic. Do you guys know about aphid farming? Do you know that some ants are farmers? Are you aware of this? How many of you ever heard this in your life?
Some ants are farmers?
Some ants are farmers. You all know what ants are. Raise your hand if you've ever seen an ant.
My aunt Carrie.
No, not your Aunt Carrie. Okay, so little insects. Do you know what aphids are? Little teeny tiny little bugs that suck plant juice and poop out sugar water.
That's cute.
I know, ruining everything for you. So aphids have what amount to, it looks like two exhaust pipes sticking off the back end. They have these two little exhaust pipes coming off their butt. And at the end of each of those exhaust pipes form little tiny drops of this liquid. It's called honeydew, not the melon. And it's basically like sugar water. And because they process the plant juice, they pull all kinds of other nutrients out of it. And what's left is this sugar and a lot of water, and they poop that out. Well, the ants take the aphids, and they become ranchers. So instead of cattle ranches, they have aphid ranches. And they herd the aphids to good, juicy plants for them. We'll finish after lunch. I was not recording that. So we talked a whole lot about commensal relationships, including bats and shagbark hickory trees and vultures and lions. So, whoops! Sorry about that. Let's move on. Okay, we can measure things about communities to help us understand them. And we're going to talk about two things that we typically measure. So I'll shut up and let you copy. Okay. Before we go to the next slide, let me just ask you this. From any other part of your life, from any other part of your vocabulary, if I tell you that the room next door is rich in Christmas cookies, what am I saying? It's got a lot of Christmas cookies. Yeah. My mind is, I know. My mind is on Christmas cookies right now. So when we talk about species richness, we're talking about someplace with a lot of species. Back off the Christmas cookies. Okay. What does diversity mean? Just from your general vocabulary. Difference, how diverse it is, but you're using something to define itself. Can't do that, not legal. Okay, how many differences there are.
How many different species there are.
Just diversity. We're just talking about diversity here in general. Different. Anybody else? Opposing, sometimes. Okay. Pardon? Differences in what something can do. Okay. We talk about diversity in human communities in a mix of ages, religions, ethnic backgrounds, maybe political perspectives, whatever. That's how we talk about diversity. Okay. So everybody was done with that slide? I hope. We're going to start off by talking about species richness. So species richness, you're right. Just like we said, if the room next door was rich in Christmas cookies, we would all be over there. It means it's got a lot of Christmas cookies. Someplace that is species rich, has high species richness, has a lot of numbers of different species. So the more numbers of species someplace has, the higher its species richness. And I will shut up and let you copy. If we look at those pictures of the rainforest versus those pictures of Antarctica, as we go closer and closer to the equator, we get bigger and bigger species richness. As we go further away from the equator, it diminishes. We have fewer and fewer species as we get further away from the equator. So if I gave you 3 options, I gave you here, here, and there. We'll finish tomorrow.